Hey everybody, welcome to Real Talk, Real People, Real Estate. We're with Scott Christian today, one of my favorite lenders. Actually he's the funnest lender we have. Now I'll
But
tell
I
you
have
why in a second. And then Kyle and Diana are here. And today we're going to talk about bridge loans. And they used to be really expensive and not as user friendly. And we did kind of a not very user friendly one last year, but I want to just walk you through what it looked like to us and for the seller. So she had a condo in Anaheim and wanted a house in Riverside, same price, but she had a lot of equity in the house she was selling. So we used a bridge loan to buy the house in Riverside, and it on paper it looked like a cash purchase. And then that gave us 90 days once the clock started ticking to sell her condo. And we don't even call them mega open houses anymore. They're launch parties.
yes.
And we had massive amounts of people. And Scott actually he came to this one and so many of our other open houses with barbecue, music. Scott brings the party, he's out there
Absolutely.
greeting everybody, giving them all the information they need. And then Diana and Kyle just fielded people, and we got a buyer. She came the first weekend and the second weekend, and she made her offer in the second weekend, and we closed in time. And there would have been another 90-day period where the seller would have had to make some interest only payments, but we're pretty good at what we do. And we got it done really quick. So now this is a different program that Scott has, and he's got three. And I think he's going to tell us about his most, probably the one that most people will use, right? I'm going to hand it over to Scott, and then we'll ask questions as we go.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I have a PowerPoint presentation, but more importantly, I just kind of talk about it a little bit. There's programs that you have a seller that the house isn't sold yet. It's on the market, right? But they found their dream home, and yet their house is still not in escrow. So, but the way we have it right now is a lot of sellers don't want contingent offers. So we have what we call the bridge loan, which helps kind of remove those contingencies of having
Oh,
to
I
close on your
completely
house
skipped over
and
that
all that.
part.
Yeah. So you don't have to go in with a contingency. So the company that I have, that the investor actually buys the house cash, okay, for you, and then you buy it back from them as a seller once your house is sold and closed. So you basically get upfront purchase, and then you finance it all when you close your and sell your current residence. With that equity, you put the down payment and you buy it back from them. It's an amazing product, and there's a couple different ways of going about it. So they have a program where they'll be in your back pocket as a seller. So let's say your house is on the market and you go make an offer. Well, you can make that non-contingent offer that your house doesn't have to close, right? However, if it does, great, then you don't need them. But if it doesn't, they're there to take that out to get you closed on that house. So
That's
it's
a
kind of
nice
like
option.
pardon?
So that's a nice option, you know.
Yes, yes. So it's just a backup plan. Hopefully it all works and you get the buyer comes in, you sell it and it's all works. But if you don't, you have that. So you're not stressing or sweating it out, right?
Yeah, because
Um,
most people's biggest concern is I don't want to be homeless
Right.
right.
when they sell,
Exactly.
and yes. So this
Exactly.
eliminates
And
that.
and you're not and so you're not making payments on this house when the new house when they buy it, right? You're not making payments on it, so you're not like now having to make two payments. You got your current residence, whatever mortgage you have on that, and then you have the new house. You're not They giving you 60 days and sometimes even longer that you can go without any kind of payment, right? Which, if you're in escrow, if you got your house on the market already and you're now in escrow, on something, you've got basically sometimes 90 or more days, really,
And
before.
we're going to take that coming soon period before we hit the market live
Yes.
to make sure that curb appeal is there, the house is ready to go, and it shows really well. So we're going to present your home in the best
Yep,
possible light.
exactly. And we're gonna do the barbecues, and we're gonna
Yep, we're going to get
we're,
well.
we're,
We market
we're
to
gonna
the
showboat
masses.
it.
We're
Yes,
gonna
we're going
bring
to
the
get
party.
so many people through.
Bring the party. So yeah, so the chances of you having any issues, and honestly, once you don't even have to worry about it paying anything or anybody until that new purchase closes escrow, and that's when the interest of the money whatever starts to accumulate. But again, there's no payment on it until at least for 60 days or more. And then we'll talk about what, we may have to pay some interest on it if it goes longer than that. But that's such I don't even know if I've had one do that yet. So, knock on wood, we've been good to get that done way before that timeline. So that's really kind of the nutshell. Now, we do have a traditional bridge, which if you know a traditional bridge, what they're going to do is they're going to give you the money up front. And we have that. So they basically give you the equity in your current residence, and you use that to purchase as your new home. And there's no payments on it for basically 11 months on that program, but it is more costly, and it does kind of factor in as a traditional bridge. So the ones that I really like, and the people that are really jumping on this, the buyers or sellers and new buyer, is having that the flexibility of having to have that in their back pocket and be able to use that if needed. Because I'm finding out from a lot of realtors that that's the biggest concern right now, is that their sellers don't want to take an offer with a contingency.
Well, they have 5 other offers that are not contingent. So why would they?
Right.
Yeah. So it just takes that all out. It's all cash. So they can go in with an all cash offer, beat out God knows how many others that are.
You go from the bottom of the list to the top of the list.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And if you don't need it, you don't use it. Now, don't get me wrong, they're going to hold some money aside for you in the event you do need it. So there's going to be a small cost for that. Yes. But it's peace of mind. So having that if you need it. So that's a snapshot of the bridge that I have.
Now, question: can we start at off market with the plan in place?
I highly recommend it. Oh my God,
Okay,
have them ready to go before they even have the house on the market.
Perfect.
Let's get them approved. And the pre-approval process is simple. It's just like qualifying for a new home for the new purchase
because of the equity.
We're just sending that information over to them, and they just review what I have already, and they say, okay, let's do it. So it's a simple process. Not like you have to go through a 2-step process. It's just getting qualified for that purchase price, and then sending it to them, and they say, yeah, we know you can close, so we'll go ahead and buy the property. And
this is all part of us being able to help you take the stress out of the process, and just letting us do the heavy lifting. Let us do our jobs and go get your new house.
Yeah, exactly. Having that tool, that you may or may not need, but to have it there available is what is just crucial. I mean, these people, they're jumping all over this. It really is
awesome.
And it's exclusive to my company, which makes it really nice as well. So not a lot of, I don't know anybody out there that has the same exact type program.
Well, the one we did last year, it was a lot more, the fees were much higher than yours.
Yes. Yeah, they generally can be much higher.
I think that one was 5%. Yeah.
Yes, interest rates are higher. The cost of getting it. A traditional bridge can be 5%.
Or
so
more.
This is much less than that. So again, and if you don't use it, it's even less than that. But again, you have it ready for you.
Like you said,
Diana, questions?
I was just gonna say, just like having that in the back of your pocket, is such a relief. Just a stress reliever, because a lot of people thinking about I want to move, but I gotta this house I gotta get rid of first. And I'm afraid I'm gonna miss my dream home. I'm gonna I'll miss out on that one. I'll have to wait until something comes around.
Then they're disappointed and frustrated.
And they're frustrated. They're frustrated even before they even get into the market.
Exactly.
Yeah. And on top of it, they're always like, oh yeah, we'll wait. And then this minute they find that dream house, like, oh my God, I gotta have it now. This is it.
Then everything's on fire.
Get the hoops out. We're jumping.
Yeah.
And it's all your fault. You sell my house. Like literally, it just turns into like it's a beautiful, and then all of a sudden, woo, wait, I found this house. I gotta die for it.
Okay.
So there's a lot to be said for the coming soon process of this, so we can prep the house. So we aren't doing a fire drill because we want it to look good. Go ahead, Diana.
Yeah. So quick question. So you get your house ready for sale. You put it up for sale. You look for a house. You find a house. What if you don't get the down payment that you needed? or the house does not sell for what you needed it to?
Great question. I mean, I think we have to have that that kind of conversation with
There's
the,
got to be
you know,
some cushion.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's not gonna, yeah, it's not. I mean, generally speaking, most of these buyers, these sellers that are going to be now buyers, have a lot of, you know, quite a bit of equity in their home or whatever.
And this
they
comes down to pricing the property
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah, exactly. So I not had any issues with that. I mean, honestly, we're they're pretty conservative as far as what we're going to do for them, and knowing what the market is. And don't get me wrong, they're doing a due diligence on their current house that they have listed.
Yeah.
Okay, making sure that it is within a fair market value, right? So, I mean, that's nobody
If you've
knows.
got a
Nobody has
seller
a
that
nobody
wants
has
to-
a you know, a crystal ball to tell you exactly what it's going to sell for, but you know, they're going to be conservative in knowing that it most likely this is where it's going to be.
And this is not going to work for a seller who their house is worth 850 and they want to list it for $1 million. It's not going to work.
No,
because it's not going to sell.
Yeah.
No, they're going to base it off of what the value
Gotta be
truly
smart.
is, not
Yeah.
not what the seller says or what they list
Right.
it for, right?
Right.
Because that means nothing.
Right.
So yes,
Good question.
we want that property information that they're selling, obviously, as well as, you know, knowing the property they want to buy.
There's a lot of behind the scenes due diligence
Mhm.
that goes into this. Scott makes it
Yep.
sound super easy, which it should to
Yeah.
the consumer,
Yes.
because that's our goal. But we're
Yes.
doing our job behind to make sure that you're safe.
Right. They're doing AVMs. They're not, you know, going out there and they need an appraisal done on their departing residents. They're doing AVMs, and those are just as, I mean, as tight as anything, especially more now than ever.
Yeah.
Technology. So they know what that property is going to generally sell for.
Well, very good. This was
Yeah.
awesome. I can't wait to share this with everybody. It's going to go on YouTube. It's going out to everybody's databases, so we can help some people get into some homes, maybe some downsizers too. And
Clear the air.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
make it fun again.
Especially with a lot of kids going off to college, they could be thinking, especially like here, Kerrigan Ranch, the super big homes, and now their last kid just left.
Yeah, who wants to clean a
empty
super big
nesters.
home?
Yeah.
All right, thank you
All right.
very
Oh,
much,
wait, I
Scott.
have one question. I have one
Go ahead.
question. It's kind of off this topic, but it's with loans. Do you still have those loans where you can get them to do renovations?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
an FHA, what, 203?
203K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
Those
curious.
are still out there.
Those are a pain in the neck, but they're
Yep.
doable.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you
All right.
so much.
It's been fun.
Thank you.